Going to turn on this soon, but we're having problems with this. But I'm going to show you the chipboard you guys can look at, so you guys can look at it up close. I'm going to give you guys an idea before we hook this up. We're going to pause this video in a couple minutes. I'm going to show you all the chips in here, but it's working. But the problem with it is, I'll be hooking up the power supply in about 10 minutes after this. This is all the chips. You guys can look at this stuff. I don't care, but you can take a look. Then we'll look on the back and I'll tell you what my problems is. I had to put this back in last night. This right here. Yeah, I had to put that back in there. You guys saw my previous view when I had on that chip. And I'd like to get this thing back to its original restorage. Let's see. You can see that down that way. Because there's usually a solder connecting on that silver thing right here. Right there. That one's connected to that board there. I don't know who did this channel thing, but they think it's a channel mod, but some people think it's a 10-meter radio. But I don't know what this guy was doing, but I think this has been a success. The caps have been working. This is the one I messed up pretty bad. I'll show you that one on here, because the one the rip trace was ripped out on the minus side, not the positive side. But there was a little silver still connect to it. I saw it ripped the trace out of it, like it popped out the circle when I was doing it about a week ago. So I had to put this new cap in. It's on that one side. I had to put a lot of solder on it, but there was a little silver thing on the inside of it. It didn't rip down on that one side, so it might still work. But you probably can replace that later on. But everything's been alright, very well. I'll tell you the most one I have not found a part for this. That blue one up there. I'm trying to figure out what this is. I'll show you guys in a second. The blue thing. What is that 25.1 on it? Is that 25 UFarads or 2.5? See that difficulty I'm trying to show you? I've been trying to find this cap. Is this a 1 UFarad? The one in blue. This one up here I'm talking about. I had to put this thing back in. And I read on one of my component things, the indicator, that little green device I have. I put it under, ran it on it. It's reading like 75, 1785, somewhere between there. And between the 1700s on nanofarads. 1785 nanofarads for this one. And I'm trying to figure out if it's a 1 UFarad. See, there's actually a minus on it. Hold on a second. There we go. That one says the 25 and there's a 1. See that minus? And there's the minus side right here where you put the components right there. So that's where you're interested on that side. It's not on the plus side. The plus side's over that way. The blue thing I'm looking at. I'm trying to figure that it's at 1 Eurofarad. And I'm trying to look at what this is. This part's not listed. And this is a component. I looked on the schematics it's actually C208. That's the one I'm looking at. See the one with the blue one? C208. If you guys look at that component, if anybody's got a TRC-451 out there in YouTube land, tell me what C208 is. What does it read on your component? Is it 1 UFarad or 1.1 UFarad? Or what it is? And it's showing, I think 25 volts or 1 UFarad. I put this component back in yesterday. I ran the radio, but all the components almost all replaced. Every single one of them. Even that one you can see there. Even the ones in blue. All the components are all replaced. Every single one of those components, the capacitors are all replaced. Could be that ding part what the guy on Radio Nut on 63 probably has. I probably have to go his technician type way. Probably like the realistic one I have to look for. He has a lot of parts of TRC-451s on video, and I might have to go on that route to look for that one that is. But every component is working. See, it's even all replaced under that blue thing I did. I replaced almost every one in that one. You guys can see it. Now I showed you in some of my previous videos I did. I replaced all of those down there. So that one's even replaced too. Even that one too. The one in black. And they're mostly like that. There's no more gray ones anymore. Except that blue one in the back. I had to put those solder joints back in with the wires and that one right there. It's not been a success, but it's been a success on the receive, but there's no, you can hear it transmit. I'll show you in a couple of minutes, guys. I'm going to flip this over and show you the back of this radio. Give you the numbers of it. I believe can it be restored back to its original? I think it can. Here's the component board. You guys can take a look. I'll show you the one I messed up a bit. I did almost everything this whole thing. No, the caps on those whole things. But I'll have to probably keep trying until we get it right. I even had to lift this up and remove those on the metal thing. I had to do the same thing with that too. Because I had to did that because the components were under there. The caps. I had to lift that out of that way. You can tell where I solder at right here too. Not right there. No, that's not my solder. You can tell the ones I did. I'll show you the one though I've been looking for. That blue, that one with the green marker on that cap I did. It was that one right here, I think. This one right here, I think it was. Let's see. It is. That one right here. That's the one I ripped out the circle trace right here. But there was one on the silver on that side did not ripped off. So I had to solder that inside of it. And that's what I had to do. I had to put a lot on top of it. At least these are not touching each other. That's good. They're not touching each other. But this one had worked a lot during a couple of weeks ago. Because there was this, I ripped this trace out on the circle part. But the silver part held on that one side here where my nail is. That one right here on the side. Now I had to solder on that. And put the rip thing back in place. I had to push it back down. I hope it didn't ruin it. So it pulled out when I pulled this out on the side when I was having a hard time that night. So I had to resolder it back in there. I might have to get some kind of trace component thing, circle thing that goes on it. I don't know. If it doesn't affect the whole thing, it's okay. But I had to solder on that silver circle thing on that one side where my nail is. And that probably might still have some connection to it. That's the only part I messed up on this part here. But everything is okay. So you can tell all those components I solder each one of them. This one I just did yesterday where you put that one back where the orange thing is. That's that component I was talking about, the blue one. I'm trying to figure out what that one is. This one I replaced just yesterday with one of my caps kits I had to did. The ones with the new cap kits I have. That one I replaced just yesterday with a 1U ferret. I took the old one out. I just did that yesterday. So everything's good. But it took some time to get it laid down and all that. It's one of my new cap kit boxes I put in. That's one of those. Somewhere or some of my cap kits I had to put in some of the components. Not many. Let's see, I'm going to move my hands out of the way. You guys can see that. I did that with that whole, I flowed the solder on that. That's what I did about a week ago. But it might be a successful radio, but we'll hope to get it restored when we get a chance. But we'll have to see when we get that component like I told you about. I think the one I've seen on Radio Net 63 TRC-451. I have to check that out to find that component we're talking about. It might not be a success or not, but it might be still. I believe this radio can be restored in a way and get back on the air with this. But that's what it is. So I'm going to try to get this fired up and show you what it is. I'm going to put it on some headphones speakers. I'm not going to solder the wires back in for the speakers yet until I show you. And we're going to pause this video for a minute. You guys will see what I'm having the problem with. Let me show you guys the problem I have right now. See? Watch this. Make sure that's so you won't hear nothing. See? Audio. Audio. See, that's the problem I have right now with this guy. I don't know what this guy did, but show you guys the problem I have. Watch this. It's working receive, but all the capture plays are set through, but the 90 something restore this whole thing back. Audio, audio, audio. See? No transmission. Watch these channels. We're only on channel 19 right now on the other ones. Audio, audio, audio. You guys can hear AM. Audio, audio. We're connecting a Trim 310 on display. We'll show you some radios in a couple minutes after this. It's a lot of work on this guy. Holy crap. Audio, audio. Audio. Let's go to channel sideband. Audio. I don't know, trapped on that. Audio. See? Audio. Nothing goes about 39, 40. See that? That's the thing we're having problems with right now. Audio. Audio. At least, I told you guys, at least it's working, but that's our problem with this radio. But there's probably a lot more to it. See? So I'm just telling you, we got almost all the caps replaced, I told you. But we spent, I paid for like $65 for this radio back in 2020, no, 21, before I left to Utah. This was the last radio I bought. And the TRC-450, the 2990, the RCI. And it has some other ones too. This one, because I got it because of the motor junkie channel and stuff like that, but we'll still have to work on this a little bit more later on. But the problem with this, that's the only thing what it is. If we can get it restored the way it is, we might be able to pull it out. I don't know what that crystal chip, what this guy put in. They think it's a 10-meter radio, but the description said on there was a tech special or something like that. But the guy, person that wrote it was his grandpa's radio. They think it was a 10-meter CB radio, but the TRC-451, it was in his garage, in his shed. That's how I got this thing. I bought it back then. What do you expect? I got it all for free. Like I told you how I got that one free. Even part of gift card with this one too. So, if you guys want to help me out in some situation what I need to do on this, let me know. But I think I'm going to try that, the Radio Nut 63 on YouTube, one of those components I'll have to try. But there's a lot more to this. If you guys got any pictures of this radio, the TRC-451, if you guys want to send some pictures of this thing, put it down in the comments down YouTube, because I can see the whole entire thing on the top what I need to do. Because the schematic is kind of different when you look at it, and sometimes these schematics you get are not listed all the hearts and the thing. Mostly all it is on the CB Tricks does list a lot, all of them. But if you guys get pictures out there on YouTube, like the whole radio and boards, and take pictures and put videos on YouTube, a lot of times it could help a lot of people out there on videos. But we might have to do some more to this later on. So we'll have to probably get some of those other components put in there, like we'll have to try the technique what Radio Nut 63 does on his TRC-451. There's only a few radios I need to get recapped, and I'll show you some other ones in a second. So it's pretty good. We'll leave this on for a second. These radios definitely need some recapping. These two radios. But that one, that's the RCI 2950. Let me show you guys, look like that. See? Except, I swiped that orange display, but it's a color display like the one I was telling you about. But I'm looking for an orange display for that one right there. Original design, but it probably needs a lot of recapping in there. But this radio does work. The only problem, the orange display was actually modified. Like it was a modified channel one in that one that had. I still had the original orange display somewhere in a board, stored away here in this room, but I still have it. But it was a busted display board on one side, but it didn't have no transmit, no receive on it. Probably needs a lot of recapping, but it was actually a modified one. It actually go to 30 megahertz down to 25. But when I put this guy, it just shows 28 megahertz because it probably needs like an E chip. An E chip means you put it in the back of this thing, it'll definitely be on frequency on all of them. But this one probably needs recap, but I'm still looking for an orange display board for this guy for the 2950. It probably could still work. It says this one was a tech special. I got it from California, out of Huntington Beach, California. It was actually some CB ham shop. Some guy had one. This guy is a 40 channel Sears Road Talker 40. It's actually sideband. You guys can see that thing. It's pretty cool. But I was just trying to show you that. They said right here, and this is actually the original manual and schematics. But I don't have to go by the schematics. That's what this radio is. That is what this one is, the original booklet from the 1970s. The other one I have, the other Sears one I have was actually a 23 channel, but this is a 40 channel. It came with its original box with this guy. I had the original box with this. I got it out of Ocala, Florida, out of some storage, and I got it back in 2020 or between 2019 and 2018 when I had this one. And this one has it does have transmit. The problem is it makes that squealing type noise. That's what this radio has. But I can show you the guys on the back of this radio, but that's the original manual. But this is actually what I wrote down what Mike's Radio Repair told me what I needed to do with this radio, and I commented down and showed him the video. This is what he told me what I needed to do. You guys know what Mike's Radio Repair on YouTube is. Yeah, that's what he told me I need to do. And I'll show you the manual. And that's what the manual looks like. See that, guys? I'm not going to show you all that, but that's what this thing is. It is a beautiful shape, but just needs recapping. That's what this guy does. And it's probably a Cybernet chassis from the 1970s. But it's a pretty amazing type manual in good shape. And this one's in excellent shape. You don't get to see one of these every day. What do you expect from 1975, 78, or 79? This radio is in great shape, except it needs recapping. It was in storage, but it's in a brand new box. I'll give you the specification what this guy looks like. But that's what I'm saying. Love to get this guy working. It'll be awesome. 76 diodes. It shows on the specification what this is. This one I got a while back. I only paid $40 for this radio back then. And that's what I'm saying. I think it has the schematics with it. I don't think it does. Because a lot of times these don't come with schematics. I think the other one had schematics. I got this one, but no. Yeah, it has the schematics. There it is. That's the schematics I got. There it is. That's the original schematics. I don't think this is on cbtricks.com. If you guys want to look that up, let me know. But that, I never threw this out yet. Just imagine you can see this on the schematics, what it looks like. That's the original schematics. Look at that. But you can't hardly see this with your naked eye. You can only see it with magnifying glass or cell phone. See, there's a lot of schematics of this radio. I have the original schematics of this radio. And there's nothing been touched with it at all. I like the way we can get this thing scanned. It would have been amazing. We could get it all scanned on a scanner. But this is actually all the original schematic of this radio. I think you guys can see that a little bit. But you have to look through it. That's a relay or something, regulator. But that's the original schematics. And it's in really good shape. And it is very excellent shape. I'm just running this video to show you guys what it looks like. A lot of capacitors. But I'm not going to throw this schematic out. I have to keep this manual. It might get this radio back working right as it is, but for 1970 components, it might be almost the same as today's. That's a 10K resistor right there. And that's a resistor for too, like 22K. That's probably 22K resistors. I don't think they make that kind. 22K resistors. Look at that. No, that's the capacitor. Capacitors, you can take a look. That's 100 farads. And that's probably 0.2 right there. Who knows? But it's kind of different what it is. But there's all the original schematics what it is. Is that amazing, guys? You might get this guy working. You just have to look for the capacitors. There's a 110K resistor there. And 4.7K resistors. This is all 1970s type manual. The 80s were kind of different. I say the 70s had a little bit more detail of their schematics. The ones in the 80s are probably kind of different. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a 220 right there. That's the 220 UFarads. They don't use UFarads. They just label as numbers. Yeah, that's pretty amazing, guys. That was awesome. What do you expect for a radio that old, dude? It's in good shape. Printed in Japan. It's actually original radio. And I'll show you the back of this radio is. Don't worry. That one I kept for I got it for $40. It's in great shape. That's what it is. I'll show you the model of it. You guys get an idea. Maybe you guys might remember these radios. That's what this thing has. I had the original connector with this too. Thought you might want to check that out. But I paid about 40 bucks when I got this a while back, and also got this one for free. You know, you guys, I did phone farming a while back. That's actually where a fuse goes in this one. This one has a fuse that goes into this one right here. And I tried it one time. I have a video of it, and it makes that squealing type sound noise. That's what it is. And it's usually a 5-pin connector. No, it's a 4-pin connector right here. That's why you guys can see that. So you guys can get an idea. 4-pin connectors. I thought it was a 5-pin connector, but it's a 4-pin. But Wave Speaker was in a storage in Ocala, Florida during the heat. And I found this radio. It was in a box that came with the original box and the instructions. It was a styrofoam box, which I still have it. And that thing was I was surprised that it's in good shape, but it probably needs a lot of recapping. If you know a lot about these radios, let me know. I'll just give you the model number. You guys can take a look at that for a couple minutes and give that idea. Sorry about what happened to TRC-451. We're probably going to get this guy to work on again soon. If you guys want to know what I need, give you some ideas what we got to do on this thing. We'll probably get it back to its original status later on soon. What do you expect? I got it for free. At least it counts. And some gift cards on it, not free, but even that TRC, the RCI 2950 is another one too. But at least I got the caps going. You gotta give me credit. At least I put them in there and did the right priority for it. But we'll see what happens. Try to work on some more things with it soon. But I'm glad I got the Quad 5. The good thing, this is my second trim 300 antenna I have. No worries about that. And that will be slapped in my mobile type vehicle. So I got the one on the roof still. Like I showed you, it's the same exact one. And I got it for 26 bucks. It was on sale on Fleabay a couple weeks ago. Then the guy jacked it up on price from $34 up to $40, and it went back up. That's why you guys keep it on eBay on antennas, CB antennas, because they might mark it down some price on it for a few days. Then they'll start jacking it back up because they're trying to make more inventory. The antenna's in good shape. Well, also, those are my veggie type plants we're going to be putting in soon. We got butter crunch lettuce, got broccoli. We got these just the other day. But right now it's too cold right now to do anything in this weather. It's been like in the 60s and mostly like 30 degrees at night. You don't plant until the last frost happens. You guys have to understand that. I got some squash. Yeah, it's usually my garden out there when I do all my stuff, but with my family either way, you guys know. Because I do, beside radio, I do garden stuff, I do other stuff beside that. You guys know that. But I'm still working on this base station antennas I was telling you about, and I need to get a ladder soon, like a 16 to 22 footer, so I can get up in the tree and straighten out the 102 one I made a while back, but I can use an antenna tuner on it, which it still works good, I think it does. I had to try to straighten all the stuff out. I haven't done that yet. And even the one with the big wooden pole one I made, I still have the antenna, but I had to reseal it off with some of this stuff. I'll show you this. This stuff I resealed with that stuff. Okay? So I had to use some of that stuff to seal the antenna on the camo type things. So it's really good. We're still working on a lot of stuff, but yeah. This stuff I used on the antenna outside to seal it. The other one in the tree don't need that. But especially if you guys do a camo type design, find some of this stuff. Put it on all your antennas. Make sure you get tons of this at Walmart's. Wally World. You will find this stuff. You guys, what you do with this, you get some of this stuff, then use some of that silicone stuff to seal it all over the thing so this stuff doesn't fade in the sun. So it won't fade in the sun when you do that. That's what I did that. Because there's actually two layers on it, what I had on it. This is going to go on my second beam antenna, the one I'm making the element out of this guy here. You guys can see it on the wall. We got our maps here. We're good. We're awesome. Check that out. Check that out. This is a map you can't get no more, which I lucky I got it in time. They used to have be $6-8. This map's from 1992. It's actually called The World. It's actually what it is. These maps are very rare to find, but they've been in use on a lot of Cold War movies in the 80s and 90s. You guys might be able to sign that. This is the beam antenna I'm trying to design later on. You guys see that when I'm going to be putting the connectors on that. And I have a two-way wire thing, an RJ58 thing. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be like this design here. Let me unzoom this, but you guys can get an idea. That's what I'm going to do with this guy. And probably put it on that big board here. We might use that big board for that one right there. It can lay on it so it does not bend. I might be able to use that as when it turns it around. That's the next project I'm going to be working on, my next antenna project. This is the 2-element beam I'm supposed to make. I got the pipes for it. You guys don't worry about that. I have the PVC pipe for it. Each will be like 103 inches on both sides. On those two sides like this. You guys can see what I'm talking about. So this is the camo tape I did it back 2 years ago, but I'm going to put some silicone on it later on. But I still got the tube radios here. I still have that one here. These are my other one. But the problem with this grant, it probably needs recapping because the relay doesn't work anymore, but the receive does work. I don't know. I'll have to fire it up again. We'll check this out. These radios work fine. These are great. This one works good. That one works good. These both work very good. And the one down there works very good. And this one still works really like a champ. This one works very awesome. Hope I don't list any addresses on the line, because that's what I don't want to do. This is a real walkie-talkie I got for free from a guy that gave me this, and that microphone I got. The shortwave is good, okay? We're good with the shortwave. This thing works really awesome. I really love that. That is an antenna matcher. I have several of them like this, different ones. I have another one in the back behind there. But you guys know what that is. I still have a 2K Amelis out there. I still have one in the case I hid somewhere. This is definitely, the meters are still good. We're still working on it. The D104 needs some work on, but I have to check it again. But this microphone needs some work on inside the wires. But they go bad. But we got our UDX member logo out there for everybody to see. We got a bunch of books, everything you guys to study. We're good. Don't worry, I got plenty of coax wires for that. And that went up too, U2 up that way. So you guys know. This is the tube radio I like to get working later on. But don't worry, that's that letter I got from Dirty Diaper. That's one of his things. Cannot show that on YouTube if it has his address. That was one of his stickers I got in there I have. But yep, worked quite good. But I got that wire hooking up to my thing, and we're going to be connecting to it later on. You guys can see it up there. Yeah, that's what I made it a while back. I'm trying to figure out how to keep that thing away from that. That's where the wire's going to connect to a multi-adapter or something like that. Will work to hit all those radios. I can swipe them out, and it connects right out to there. That's why I did that design. But the filters outside I made a while back. It's still in good shape. I looked at it back a few weeks ago. It's in that little container box thing. Probably want to upgrade that later on to something better. But this radio I would like to get working, but it needs to probably need a lot of recapping. And it still has the same issues like I told you a while back. But I got a good deal on this one for like $40. A lot of people comps at $35. It's pretty good shape, but there's all tubes in it. This one still needs a lot of work. What happened, the transformers got burned up on this one. The problem with this guy here, I still have the same thing, but it was one of these circle things got burned up and smoked up in there, but the tubes still work and everything still works fine. And sorry, still transmits right here too. I'd like to get this guy working soon, but I got the manuals for these two, for both tube radios. That's going to take a lot of parts to do, but you got to find some old school components to do it, like 8-track players and all that. But at least I still have my Quad 5, guys. That counts very good. That's why I got it, for a reason to get into skip. The Quad 5 still works good, no issues. This is one of those microphones I have, but it's not one I use on Quad 5s. I have other microphones behind this wall too. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Just want to show you about the TRC-451, what it's been doing. Sorry about what's been going on, but hope we get this guy working soon. Hopefully be more success. I have to look around the components of this way. I have one of these components will work with this, especially these two. And I have them right here. But these components are the ones I got. I pulled out on one of my TV parts. This component should be able to work with the TRC-451. This guy here down the bottom. This is why I wrote a lot of stuff down. The R134, I had to probably find that thing. This component right here. And this component, I have found this guy. The C945. I found these out of one of my TV arts, or it could have came from a radio. You guys can see the label on it. Let me see. Yeah, you guys can see it. That's the component label. It is it. It is, okay, you guys can see that right there. But it's the component I'm looking for these. And I have a lot of lists of this one I found on RadioNet 63 out there. He does the TRC-451. Now I wrote down his tips when I was trying to look at these. These probably the components might get it to work. I don't know. But these guys who do these things, who modify their TRC-451s to things like that, they should, if it was a channel expanding one with like kit or something like that, that'd be quite cool. But yeah, sometimes you find these things from different people who sell them out there, and you might get lucky in a lot of things. Hope we can get a really nice TRC-451 I'd like to get. A really good quality one. But we'll see what happens on that. But we still got a lot of projects to go. So, you guys enjoy your day. I'll probably bring out some more videos sometime soon. We might get some skip videos out of Quad 5 when I get a chance, but not right, maybe when I get some time. But yeah, I've been working a lot, been quite busy. You guys know what I've been doing. So I'm going to tell you, you guys have a wonderful day. This is Foxman 362 World Radio out there on YouTube. Check me out on YouTube, on TikTok, UDX 362 on TikTok. I still have some videos on that, some of my skip videos, and our UDX members out there, especially them, because those are the people we're promoting out there for everybody around the whole entire world out there. So we're getting the UDX club going fast, because we need to get more members out there so we can have plenty of the people on the skip land type and locals out there too. But who knows? But I'm glad the UDX member club is growing. The United Delta X-Ray. Especially check out those guys on YouTube. Check out 390 Wagon Master. He goes by UDX 390, or sometimes he goes by UDX 396. So what it is, or either way, or who is out there. But 390 Wagon Master is a good guy out there on YouTube. He knows his stuff. He tries to give us everybody all that. This guy's been around the CB hobby since the 70s. He knows what he's talking about. This guy is good. He has his live streams on Thursdays. Sometimes they come out there once in a while. And also check out Old Tube Radio Network. On Saturday nights, it comes on around 11 o'clock my time in East Tennessee. And mostly subtract that about 3 hours behind Pacific time. You guys get an idea. And also you got Old Radio Night. I have a sticker right here. You guys saw it down there. It goes by like that. You guys can check this out. And there it is. Old Radio Night right there for sure. It comes on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. That guy right there, he goes by UDX21. And he also goes by Dirty Diaper. This guy knows his stuff. And I'll talk about this guy in a minute. He's out of South Carolina, the Charleston area. This is how CB radios used to sound like back in the 90s, 80s, probably the 70s. But if you guys want to experience 1996 all over again, 94 again, go to go to 21.s.c. But if you can't, you'll find Old Radio Night. Just type in Old Radio Night, you'll be able to find him on there. He goes like, I think it goes by 21.s.c. This guy has been around the radio system on CB since the 70s. Even before when he was around. Before he even moved to Charleston. And these guys know their stuff. These are probably the guys been around been the CB system for a very, very long time. And he talks to people from Skip, local, you name it. And gives you different kind of radios he usually has, from the old school type ones and some of the newer ones. And usually gives you a very detailed what they are. And he's trying his best out there. For a guy like that, he's doing good. He's doing really good out there. You got to give him some time. He usually will tell you some things, and he will tell you in the chat. He'll give you a blue wrench if he usually respects you all out there. The guy's very quite good, so he wants people who have their YouTube channels to check out and to get it all interested. I'm just going to tell you guys, you have a good day. This is Foxman 362 World Radio. Foxman 362 out here. UDX 362 out here in East Tennessee. And UDX 362 on TikTok. And I'm also on Rumble too out there. You guys can check out Foxman 362 World Radio out there on that area. But I think I'm out there on that one. But check those channels out. Have some time. And get time to talk to the UDX members out there. They're pretty quite good. They might help you on some radios they have, and a lot of them will do. This is Foxman 362 World Radio. Catch you all later. We'll bring out some more videos sometime soon. Catch you later. Have a good day.